Akpabio don't finally enter wahala again. Oh, international body don't chook mouth for this matter. No be smarty. You know, finally, now people don't. Hey, watch this first.
Nadeko to President Trump, ban Godswill Akpabio. Do not give U.S. visa to Godswill Akpabio. That's what Nadeko demanded today in a press release in Washington, D.C. What do you call a country where crooks rule, the people suffer, and those in charge gallivant around the world on diplomatic passports? Only Nigeria. As Nigerians will say, now only Nigeria. And the worst part, they are not even hiding this. They trot around. Look at what they've done to the South. Look at the impunity that they've carried out with the South, toppling governors. Nadeko USA has fired a warning shot. They've written directly to former US President Donald Trump and US Secretary Marco Rubio, demanding a visa ban, a diplomatic visa ban on Nigerian Senate President Godswill Akpabio, House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, and Tinubu's Rivers appointee, the person he appointed governor in Rivers State, Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas. What's the charge against them? Democracy sabotage, political terrorism, obedience to tyranny. For Tinubu keeping quiet when they're killing everybody in Benue. Let's be real. Akpabio didn't just play along, Senator Akpabio. He was the enforcer. In mafia terms, he was the capo regime. He helped Tinubu declare an illegal emergency in Rivers State. That emergency is illegal. He backed the unconstitutional removal of a sitting governor. And back home in Akwa Ibom State, the states that he purports to represent in the Senate, he strong-armed Governor Moino, Emperor Moino, the weak Emperor Moino, with veiled threats that he will use the corrupt electoral and caustism against him so that Moino cannot get re-election. And now, Moino, the same man who privately cried about pressure, was grinning. He was here in the US a week ago, grinning, just 1 week ago. And he's coming back to the US in August for Artisan Convention, where Akwa Ibom people meet in the diaspora. What for? Is he coming for tourism? Is he coming to celebrate? Who is he deceiving? Or is he coming to tout some nonsense that is doing in Akwa Ibom? These men don't line up at the embassy like you, ladies and gentlemen. They use diplomatic passports, which is the golden tickets of Nigerian impunity. They use diplomatic passports. So we say to the U.S. State Department, we say to Marco Rubio, ban diplomatic passports for Nigerians, for people like Godswill Akpabio, Umoino, and others. No exceptions. Start with these three, Godswill Akpabio, Umoino, and Bola Tinubu. Start with the three, and you'll be surprised how much confidence Nigerians will have in you. These people are not symbols of leadership. They are evidence of the rot in Nigeria. That's what they are. Tomorrow, these three men I just pointed out to you, they're gathering in New York to celebrate conquest of 15 million Akwa Ibom people. They're not there to unite Akwa Ibom people. They're there to divide Akwa Ibom people. But they're going to flaunt power, they're going to mock justice, and they're going to dance on the graves of the hopes of Akwa Ibom people. And then they expect people to keep quiet in the US for them to come here willy-nilly. If you're watching for Akwa Ibom, remember, this is not leadership. It is domination. What's happening in New York tomorrow's stadium is not a reception. It is a coronation of betrayal of Akwa Ibom people. They betrayed the whole state, including people begging for handouts. That's why we stand with Nadeko USA. We support the Trump-Rubio visa ban proposal, but we want it limited to the enablers. Ban the enablers. Ban the godfathers. Ban the liars. In Agbada, you see them in the Senate lying through their teeth. Let the US, UK, and EU hear this loud and clear. The Nigerian people are not fooled. When people rise up, they will act as if they didn't know how it happened. Well, this is how it starts. So I let you know that your subscription, your comments, and your shares, this is another way you can say no to Akpabio. No to Tinubu, no to Emperor Moino, no to Ibas in Rivers State. You can reach me directly via text at 91452.
One of the major lessons from this Senator Natasha case, it is to establish that what we call government for Nigeria is actually organized criminality. That is to handle one case of person. If you look at the court and you see police and security where they, how can they protect yellow water for Benue State? The other day we they pass, we they go this thing around the other side where Court of Appeal they. Yes. They say that they carried Mazinam Dikano who be that way they for court. Yes. If you see the number of security, both DSS, both mobile police, both police, road safety, everybody in court because federal government is carrying one, prosecuting one case. So if all those security there for prosecution for one court, others more than 200 they protect politician and KBC and pastor and imam and everybody, who go remain to protect Nigerians for this country? Nigerians are busy. Government is investing, draining taxpayer money where it is not needed. Because when I want to prosecute one person for court, the whole police commission will be drafted to go and stand by that. People who are not criminals. So, meanwhile, non-criminals there for TikTok that they do give away. Nigeria, if we all of us not come together, can resolve this issue of leadership and governance. You see this issue of INEC, anywhere where you there, any state where you there for Nigeria, we don't form WhatsApp group, we don't form, make una go ensure, say that you join, begin to make noise, because already the people where they cause all this katakata, they prepare for 2027. Nigerians, what is your plan? So to prosecute one person, we can have more than 50 law enforcement in one place. How Benue no go born to watches? How they no go carry people children go keep so that they go welcome president? So that the ones where terrorists never kill, make pneumonia and malaria, kukuma kill them. Now the one way they do for Nigeria be that. Oh, she lenshe, ori buruku lenshe Nigerian government. May God help.
We judge you. That is why I'm preaching. Want to build the church? Archbishop, today, why not you just tell the people to build the church? I said, yes, I will tell the people to build a new church in Kiagodo. But if they build the church with corrupt money, will God be there? Now you have strength to run around every corner. Don't worry. A day is called. You will not even know the number of clothes that are in your wardrobe. Before you die, you can be aged, and when you get to a certain stage, you will even forget that you are naked. All these ones we are doing, God will judge us. Starting with me, starting with the church. Those of us who collect stolen money, God will judge us. And those of us who tell you that this is how to do it, God will judge us. And those of you we preach to who refuse to repent, God will judge you. That is why I'm preaching today. Let there be a change. Tell your neighbor, let there be a change. For good. Not hope that will not be realized. We are waiting. Nigerians should pray for Tinubu. Encourage him. I want him to succeed. If he succeeds, my burden will be less. I keep telling you people, this white hair I'm growing, I'm too young to have white hair. It's the stress of Nigeria. Every day over 100 people are in the Bishop's Court, are in the Archbishop Palace, requesting charity. Why will I not grow white hair? When the crude oil that run from Nigeria can make every Nigerian live properly, live as a human, they give us fake data that the oil running from Nigeria is not up to 2 million barrels. And the thieves are living with us. Anger has come to expire. Is there somebody ready to repent today? My priest had told me, Papa want to build the church. Archbishop, today, why not you just tell the people to build the church? I said, yes, I will tell the people to build a new church in Kiagodo. But if they build the church with corrupt money, will God be there? If they give the Archbishop brand envelope in dollars, pounds, has God actually noticed the...
You see, it doesn't matter how many hawks and vultures we team up against the righteous. No matter the trials and tribulations they may pass through, they will always be vindicated. I'm sure it's no longer news that the lady Natasha, I mean the most distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, was victorious again once more over Akpabio and those who are desperate to by any means prove some sort of superiority over her. We all know how she has been arraigned in courts over cases of civil defamation. And what was their aim? The end desire of Godswill Akpabio, Yahaya Bello, and co. was to see the lady go to prison, even if for 1 hour. That is all they've been fighting for. But did they get that? Of course they didn't. When you are righteous, everything works in your favor. The hawks can gather. The vultures can gather. No big deal, but at the appropriate time, they will all scatter. And let me say this. It is really unfortunate that those that are supposed to be persecuted are the ones persecuting those that ought to be in position of authority. You see the 3 images I'm displaying? I will come back to why it has to be the 3 of them. Before I proceed, before I come back to these people, let me let the all supporters of Senator Godswill Akpabio know. You cannot continuously fighting someone that is not guilty just because you want to show that you are superior. Just you want to show that you have the powers, you have the corrupt connections. For goodness sake, these are cases of 2 senators accusing each other of whatever it is. Now, where does the federal government of Nigeria come in is what Odalu don't understand. How does the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice in Nigeria becomes the lawyer to Senator Godswill Akpabio is something I don't understand. 2 senators have issue. The federal government picked up one because Akpabio is on their camp. But I appreciate the judge. I appreciate that judge who felt there was no reason to send this lady to prison for a remand, and she granted her bail. That was a victory for Natasha. That was a victory for us, and perhaps one more down for Akpabio and his camp. This is how it continues to go, because the lady isn't guilty of anything. What has she done? Now, I want to ask Nigerians, please, or rather, Nigerians should join me to ask the Nigerian government and whoever is up there. The lady Natasha has 3 petitions. 3 petitions against Akpabio. Why is none of them being given attention? But Akpabio submitted one of defamation, and the country made it a national issue, pouring the taxpayers' money to crucify and prosecute an innocent and harmless senator. It is unfortunate that Nigeria have leadership crisis. We have leadership issue, and this is being fueled and sponsored by the people who don't care, who of majority are really not aware of the happenings in their terrain, otherwise known as their country. It's really unfortunate. Now, let me come back to these images here. All these 3 persons, Omoyele Sowore, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and Mamzi Nnamdi Kanu, these are people currently being dragged here and there within the Federation of Nigeria. They are being dragged by people that are either supposed to be facing trial or in prison. Odalu says so, and I have my reason. Let me start from Nnamdi Kanu. For years now, for years, he has been with the DSS. He has been undergoing trials upon trials. What has he been found guilty of as we speak now? Nothing. You see, Sowore has always been from court to court. Even while that of Natasha was ongoing, that of Sowore was also ongoing in the same court, and that of Nnamdi Kanu was also ongoing, the 3 of them in the same day. And these are 3 people who are the people, if you allow them to run the affairs of Nigeria, we will have a better Nigeria. None of these 3 persons will not run Nigeria much better than what we currently have. I stand to be corrected. Many people will say, no, Sowore, no. See, Sowore attack against Obi is the only problem I have with him. But even at that, he's still my guy. I like what he stands for. No matter the approach he's making, he also wants a better Nigeria. I just hope he comes to terms one day that Obi is the choosing one at this time, and that he just learn to lower his sword and then see how he can work with the people's choice. Otherwise, Sowore is one of those persons that can lead the country to greatness as well. Then look at the Senator Natasha. Is any Nigerian still in doubt that if this lady find her way to the highest seat in the country, that Nigeria will not be better off? Of course she will. You see how she was being proudly represented by the organic love of her constituency down from Kogi Central. You saw it. That was organic. That was not party faithful people you sponsored. That is how it is. Let Nnamdi Kanu be released today. You will see jubilation. Not only in the southeast, the most part of Nigeria will jubilate. I know that many is going to say, how many of you now? Me, I will jubilate because I'm a supporter of good thing. Hate him or love him, what has he done wrong? My people we are, the people, his people are being treated like they are outcasts in their own country, and by that he said, let us go. That's his crime. Even if that was his crime, how did he get into the DSS? He was being kidnapped in Kenya. Do you use illegality to fight illegality? The answer is no. So I just want my people to know that it's unfortunate that we have a country where those that should be leading are being prosecuted and tried by those that should be behind bars or facing trial. That's my message.
He tried to touch me and I slapped him. I'm the first woman in Niger Delta to slap him. I received a letter from the late Abakari, Chief of Staff, that the certificates were questionable and she did not do national youth service. I wrote to the NYC. The NYC responded, and so I quickly changed her before it became a scandal. As soon as she was changed, hell was let loose. She first said, oh, Akpabio wanted me to swear to an oath of allegiance in the villa. And then they told her that the whole villa is wired. She said, what do I say? The next thing she came and said, he tried to touch me and I slapped him. I'm the first woman in Niger Delta to slap him. So Ruben Abati now said, is it like sexual harassment or rape? She said, no, not rape, maybe something like that. I said, what?
Who else remember the manner in which our old dear Senate President suspended Natasha? Who else remember how he said it? And who else remember how Natasha was so confused at that confirmation that she was going to be suspended for 6 months? Who else remember all the conditions that our Senate President was sitting there giving Natasha? Let me just recall our memory just in few seconds.
Prayer 1. That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer 1 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer 1 say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer 2, that for the Senate to consider lifting this suspension or reducing the tenor of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. I don't think Senator Baribe, as a landlord of the Senate, I don't think they heard what I read. So let me just repeat for clarity. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenor of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before the reconsideration by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Hey. Okay, because I thought I heard 50-50. Let me make it 40-60. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenor of suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration of this case by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3.
Liberalism.
Prayer 3. That the Senate do suspend Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan with effect from 6th day of March 2025 from all legislative activities forward. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Natasha should be smiling right now and feeling very elated. The court squashed a bench warrant on Natasha that no, there's no need for that, you know, and all that. So I think the first form of victory is coming to Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan. Natasha. Whichever way is named, all are her names. Philip, what do you think?
You see, when people sit down and plan in their heart to do evil, all they think about is evil, they will always fail. You know, what has happened? Some time ago, the federal government, through the Attorney General of the Federation, slammed some charges on Natasha, on criminal defamatory charges. And Natasha said, I am prepared to defend myself in court of law. She was far away in overseas. As she came, and was charged to the Federal High Court. I mean, the FCT High Court. And here come another matter yesterday at the Federal High Court. And the federal government lawyer, the prosecutor, came up with another charges, 9 charges. I think the one in the FCT High Court was 3 charges, and this one was 9 count charges. And they're saying that she's not in court, so the court should issue a bench warrant for her to be arrested. And the police should arrest her.
Anyway, they see her.
And bring her to court to be arraigned. Thank God her lawyer was in court, said no. It was here in this court. I was served with the charges and the hearing notice. We were not served. And he put up his argument, and the court agreed with it that if the accused person was not served with the count charges and the hearing notice was not served on her, how would you know that she was to be arraigned? That cannot happen. That he will not issue that warrant of arrest.
Please let me just stop you there. Don't you think that those coming from the Ministry of Justice, the federal prosecutors, should have known better that you are just putting up these charges and you are asking for a bench warrant? Is it on purpose or they are ignorant of the law? Because they are the defenders of the law.
That's why I said where people sit down and concoct evil, they will always fail. It was done on purpose so that she can be humiliated. So that they will go if the warrant was issued that yesterday, I can assure you she would have been embarrassed wherever she is and be dragged to court. That the newspaper will pick it that Natasha was arrested by a court order for her to be arraigned. That was what their intention. That's why I said when people sit down and concoct evil, they will always fail because God will always expose them. Because you have not served the person don't know anything you are doing, and these are seasoned lawyer in the Federal Ministry of Justice, and they came up to court that give us a bench warrant to arrest her without putting her on notice that she's supposed to be arraigned. And I think we should commend the judge that presided over that matter. He did the judiciary proud, at least for once, to be on the person. But he waived that rule and said, serve it on her lawyer and she will get to it. And the matter was adjourned to June 30th for arraignment. I think it's commendable.
Peter, somehow, what Philip said, some ray of hope from the judiciary. I can hear the voice of Chief Justice Kekereko say we are going to sanitize the judiciary. Is there some ray of hope coming from the judiciary?
From his analysis, I might be pessimistic here. I don't think there is, because the facts are out there. You can't arrange me when I have not been served. So it made it easier for the judge to arrive at this decision. If you had arrived at another decision, it would have been mind-blowing. So for that, I'm not clapping yet. Well, for me, I'll wait till 30th of June when the case starts. That actually showed the kind of country we live in. That showed you who we are. Seasoned lawyers that are paid from our taxpayers' money does not know what to do. I don't know they ought to have served her before now. Don't they have the addresses of the house if they cannot reach her attorneys? So in this country, everything goes for everyone. That shows you we are not organized people. And until we start taking people based on merits, merit does not mean we should discard a quota system. No. If it's on to the north, there are people there that's merited to be there. If it's on to the east, there are people. Let's get the right people into offices. And so it should be an embarrassment to this government. Those representing you in court
don't suddenly know what to
do this nonsense. That shows you everything about Nigeria.
Now, Philip, the case of Akpoti-Uduaghan had dragged for a long time. I don't know how a senator could be suspended for 6 months, where the rule of the book says 2 weeks or thereabouts.
14 working days.
14 working days. How can they still stay on that hard line? Is it that those that rule this country, from the president to the Senate president to the speaker, they've seized the country by the jugular, putting the rule of law aside?
You see, the Nadako USA has said it all, that this country is a captured state. You know that Natasha is being haunted, is being witch hunt at all costs, bring her down, you know. But she's been a very solid woman, a woman of substance, who believe that I have a right and nobody can take my right from me. And she has been standing on that and she's fighting for it. You know, what could you have thought that a city senator, that she didn't, that her acting in a live television, that she defamed some persons, that her statement amount to defamation of some persons, and the government is taking it upon themselves to prosecute her. You and I know very well that when it comes to defamation, it is a civil matter. Yeah. If I feel so strongly that your words are defaming me, that will bring my name to disrepute before the society, I'm supposed to take you to court to seek for redress from court, and not government taking my position to prosecute you. They hinged their offense on section 3, is it 391 or 381 of the penal code, and 392, which serves as punishment. I think, I can't remember, is it 3 something, is that 390 or 391 or 392 or 381, but it's one of those sections of the penal code. That's where they are hinging their offense. But this is purely a civil matter. When you're talking about Natasha being suspended for too long, it is power, there is flexible power. The Senate belongs to some persons.
Are they above the law?
Well, it's a captured state. If it's a captured state, the state is captured by some persons, and these people that captured this state, you know, the Senate, those who control the Senate aspect of it, belong to a class. If Natasha has stepped on their toes, they need to teach her a lesson, and that is what is plain. That it's not because it is in line with the law. The rules, if a state that is captured does not have rules of law, you realize that. So if our country is captured, with the rules, that's why you want to see, do you have rule of law in this country today? You don't.
Well, Peter, it seems a victory for Natasha Now, I remember when Atiku was being persecuted from by his then boss, that's Obasanjo. He won at every court. Is it going to be like that for Natasha?
No, if Natasha wins, it's not a victory for Natasha, it's a victory for Nigeria. Because that shows that you can challenge this law and get to victory. Because if she loses this case, there's no longer going to be any dissenting voices in it. Nobody's going to challenge anything in it. You know that you stepping against them, you are gone. So that's why most right-thinking Nigeria wants this case to go in her favor. So that Senate president and Senate leadership will know that this country does not belong to them.
You can't just take laws into
these
their
are
hands.
people who were elected to represent us. It is not your place to suspend them. If we don't want them, we'll record them. See, this rascality is there every day. It's not the same state that ratify state of emergency with body votes. So the rascality of this Senate is amazing. It's not the same state that told us we are the ones supposed to impeach you, but we are saying you are doing good.
You see, taking the words of Nadako USA, they said it is surprising that the Senate, as it were, both the opposition and the ruling party were singing on your mandate we stand, ratifying the president. He said it's not a democracy. You understand? Mm. So this, Senate, it is part of the executive. So it is not surprising. So Natasha is not part of them yet. Maybe she would like to say, you have asked the question. If was it okay for you that asked it? Say, will I be surprised? I think you are asking specifically if Natasha tomorrow, because we're talking about football, joins APC. I said I will not be surprised because it's survivor.
Is it the character of the
politician
to do whatever they want? Well, we'll stop there for now. Peter, do you have any parting words?
Yeah, as our pastor have said, the former
Tunde Bakare
said this National Assembly is for the sixth branch of the presidency. So please, we expect more from this current leadership of Senate. We elected you to represent us. Show us character. Show us that we elect the right people. Let there be independence of National Assembly, of the legislature from executive. And this thing will not be given to you. Damn the consequence of all before you. Natasha has done it. Take suit. I almost as I prayed this former governor of Bayelsa State, listen, for speaking up. And each time he speaks up, it's a branch of attacks, even from his own party men. To show this is a captured state. But in that capture, there are still men of honor. Those men of honor, women of honor, speak up and stand firm.
All right. Philip, any parting words? Just 10 seconds.
With all being said, Akpabio's wife will still be defending her husband and be telling people that she knows her husband cannot do this, her husband cannot do that one, her husband cannot do the other one. With all of this, so anyways, madam, we know that you are the one that's married to him. Maybe you know him better than how the society know him. Guys, do forget this interview of his wife. Watch this.
Coming down to what was discussed, apart from the Senate matters, I'm not a senator, so I don't know what goes in there. I'll talk about my own family, which is Senator Godswill Akpabio's family, my husband, and the father of my children. He's a very nice man. He's kind-hearted. He's very jovial, which people always mistake for any other thing. He's very friendly, sometimes over-friendly, I can normally tell him. But you cannot change somebody's character at this time. If somebody has been a very jovial person, very nice, very kind, very compassionate, and plays a lot and jokes a lot. Can you change the person at this time? No, you can't. So when I heard the unfortunate accusation, I'll rather call it unfortunate, it's very demeaning because that is a family. We knew the husband before the husband married her. We've always known the man. They were very good friends, or they are still very good friends. So I really don't understand where this is coming from. And I believe that for somebody to go and make such an allegation, there must be a discussion at home. There must have been a sanction or an approval. Oh, you're going to say this, go ahead and say it. And if the approval has come from the husband, our friend, I believe that he would have spoken to me because we are close. He's close to my husband. But if he didn't give her the approval to go on air and make such an allegation, then the question is, does he have control? Did he give her the approval? And then if the wife had complained about such a thing, and he still comes, and is normal, there is no man you will tell, oh, that the wife will tell, oh, it's your friend harassed me. I know how you men behave, that will not frown. First of all, the attitude towards the person will change. But this attitude never changed. And if you're talking about the house, we don't have any house in Ikorebene. Ikorebene is a local government. We are from a Senudim local government. Our country home is in a Senudim, in Okana. And I didn't hear anything about Okana. We have a beautiful home in Okana. If you're talking about Uyo, house in Uyo, I'm always there. So the home you are talking about, I'm always there. The Senate President is a very, very responsible man and disciplined. So in Akwa Ibom, when he was a governor, a lot of women were involved in governance. And none of them, not one, ever said something like this. When they go through that route, of course, everybody will say, oh my goodness, because of this statement, or because of what was about to happen, oh, they've accused me of that, they've accused me of that. I mean, how many people do you want him to answer to? So, nothing like that happened. If you're talking about my home in Uyo, on the 8th of December, that was the day we were all getting ready for the celebration on the 9th of December. I was there. My children were there. And when people make such allegations, and even when you look at her countenance, and if you had your lie detector, and you have put it on her, it would have told you the truth. So maybe what people should start having is a lie detector. So when somebody starts lying, all you need to do is, please, ma, can I put this on you? If NBC will allow you. Am I correct? So please, when we want to, Nigerians or some ladies want to say something, they should also remember that in this family, there are children that are involved. I am equally involved. Our father is not like that. And he can never be like that. You don't learn something in old age. You don't. So making such an allegation is like, oh, since you want, you've changed my seat, I'm going to malign you. For me, that is not politics. If you want to play politics, let us play politics that is decent. So that in quotes, oh, Senator Akpabio harassed me sexually. A married woman. In my place, there's a proverb, I will explain it in English, that says that if you want to eat a toad, you eat the toad that is well matured, not just a maturity. You got from someone that is okay. But a married woman. So I believe that it's unfortunate that she has said what she said, and I'm sure she knew she had lied. She shouldn't take that route. If she has a problem that needed to be solved, it can be solved without maligning somebody. Like I said before, we knew the husband before they got married. So their marriage is not an old marriage. So if the man wants us to continue the relationship, yes, we'll continue the relationship, because after all, we didn't know her before now. It was only when they got married that we knew her. So nothing happens to the relationship between us and the man, except if the man had given her an approval to come and tell these lies. The 8th of December, almost all the senators were in Akwa Ibom. And the Senate president is not somebody that is always alone. He's never alone, even when he wants to eat. He will tell me, oh, I'm eating with 10, 15 people. Even if you set food for 10, 15 people and you see 5, he never eats alone. He's never anywhere alone. So, for me, with that number of people, I don't know what and where that conversation could have taken place. Because he is like that. He shows people the house, any visitor, and then he will always take you to the chapel. That is him. At the end of it all, he will show you his chapel. Because in every home, there is a chapel. So I'm always entertaining people whenever he's around. So if the man was walking behind and the conversation was taking place in his presence, he could have heard. Even the body gesticulation could have shown the man that there was something wrong. Security men are always with the SP. So for that night, I knew I served people. People were at home. The house is never empty when he's around, because constituents will be there, Akwa Ibom people will be there, and they never leave him. Whether the house in the village in Okana or the house in Uyo. And there's no way a man that is as disciplined as that can think of taking a woman to his home. He has a lot of respect for me and for my children and regard. So you can't even imagine it. And my children are always with me. So I don't know whether she could have entered in a box, covered up. I don't know. Very cordial. I would say that even the Senate president attended the wedding and spent not just one night. How many nights? 2 nights. When they had the first birthday of their son, I was there. So I will not be able to tell you at what point did the relationship got so sour to the point of alleging sexual harassment. Because I have 4 daughters. Myself, I'm a woman. If somebody harasses me, I will feel bad. Do you understand? But when I know the husband that I'm married to, it's not him that she was talking about. That's not Senator Akpabio. Maybe she was making reference to another person. That's why I said maybe it was an imaginative allegation or a content creation. Definitely, because I mean, there's no way we cannot do that. In the past, we've allowed people to get away with a lot of things. And he will always tell me, if you can't stand the heat, leave the kitchen. I'm here to serve my people. They will throw mud at me. I said, but this mud is becoming too much. Why can't you do something? So I'm now the one going for a legal address. It depends. I don't even see it as a blow the bell because they're all lies. Like I said before, anybody can accuse anybody of anything. The main thing is, are you telling the truth? Are you truthful about this? She's not a young woman. I'm not a young woman either. So there are certain lies at our age that we shouldn't tell. Senator Akpabio, very disciplined, a good father, lovely father, supportive husband, handsome man that every woman would like to have.